Hi, welcome to this tutorial. This is a pattern by Sotak Homemade, and that's S-O-T-A-K. I'll put it on the bottom of the screen, and it's a scissor keeper, and it's for the large scissors like this. Now, I already made one using this size pattern, as you can see, and these scissors, my large ones, don't go in, so it's made for smaller scissors, still large ones, but probably not as big as these. I didn't do all the this was my practice piece, so I'm quite pleased how it turned out, but I do need to change a couple of the things I did, because I and sew it the same way as the lady does on her tutorial, but I've got to make my pattern bigger. So this is me attempting to make pattern bigger. I've done it about an inch or inch and a quarter bigger and gone with a line that way. This is in case you need to make yours bigger as well. I want to go about an inch that way and do a line coming down to meet that one. Do everything in lines when you first start. I'm using one of the sewn lines because I did actually put some some sewing lines on to form a diamond shaped pattern. So I'm using one of them lines to keep it on the bottom. Go straight up in a line. Don't worry about the curve. Just keep going off your fabric. Start off about an inch this side. Go again. And this time try and mimic the curve. If you have got anything you can use a curve with, if you don't want to do it by freehand, and just bring it round to join your straight line. So I've made it bigger that way, I've made it bigger that way, and I've made it bigger that way, so that should be plenty now to fit my scissors in. So I'm to use that line there that I've used to do a grid as part of the pattern. So there we go. We'll cut that one out. So there's the first piece cut out, and all we need to do is transfer it onto this one, remembering to do it reverse. So I would pin at this point so nothing moves while you're cutting it. So I'm still using leftover fabrics. I have no intention of buying any fabric. I just want to use everything cut that I've got, and then probably next parts, 2 or 3 months into next year, go and do a fabric run and buy all new material. So, and then you do exactly the same as this for the lining. So as you can see, I've attempted to keep the same shape. I quite like the shape because that will fit in once you've taken in consideration the 3/8 of an inch all the way around. And if it's big enough, then you could perhaps put both in, or even a smaller pair of scissors, or even something else in there with them if you're taking them travelling with them on there as well. Then I need my zip to just finish this bit off. Then I need my zip to sit just inside of the start and the end to make the ends sit better. So mine measures 13 inches, so I want a 12, probably a 12-inch zip would just sit spot on from start to finish inside there. Once you've sorted out your zip, then find yourself a piece of ribbon, or you can make a loop with fabric, your choice. I recycled this. Somebody sent me something with that on, or I saved it from Christmas presents or whatever. And then just go back and put 1/8 of an inch seam allowance just to secure it on the edge of one of your main pieces, and then cut that off, and then that's ready. and then that's what you'll be hanging it up with. If you choose the right size zip and you haven't got to cut it, then turn them all 45-degree angle and then just catch it just across there on all sides. So just turn it under so that it's pointing out the way, 45, and then just sew it across the top, and do that on 2 this side and 2 at the bottom. And that's what it should look like when you've finished each side. So the first bit we do is main right side up, zipper right side down. Now if you want to pin, making sure that the gap at the top is the same as your gap at the bottom. I would pin if you're a beginner, just to make sure everything stays absolutely still. So what you want is the corresponding lining that goes the same way as your main, same shape but facing down. I'm making sure I've got lots of pins in to make sure it doesn't slide underneath any of the clips. So you can just start it off with sandwiching the first bits, and as long as it don't move when you start sewing, then you can do everything else then by eye. Remember, you need that to stick out, making sure they come together at the ends. I don't want that to move down. Now if you've got a zipper foot, please change it. I haven't, not for this machine, so I'm going to start about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Now if you've moved, stop, take it out, take them bits out and repin it all and start again. You want your lining and your main fabric to stay the same. So there you are with the first one. So you should have your zipper fate sandwich with your lining, your main fabric with your zip in between. So once you've got one sandwich, then you want the other one you've got left over, the main fabric, right side up. Then you want to put your zipper and this side that you've already made right side down. In other words, you'll be seeing the wrong side of your zipper facing up towards you. And when you make sure that you pin it so it's level at the top across that way, and also make sure your main fabrics are as close as possible, just to make sure that it doesn't move when you start sewing. It won't match all the way around because you've got it in a different place. But just put a few pins in just so it helps you out while putting the next one on, which is your leftover lining, the other piece of lining. So that would be right side down. Everything has to be right side. Make sure that it's level with your outer fabric all the way around, and this is where you can take some pins out that you put in and then catch your lining in. And also at the side where you put it completely level with the side bit, just there and just there, and they'll help to keep it in place while you're sewing the zipper in. And then continue to go across in a sandwich. There you go, all the way across. And don't worry if your line is too big, because we cut it differently. So we can always shape that up afterwards. So that's all the way down that side. So I'm going to start from this side and do. So there we have, we've got the right side with the right sides together of your main and what you've already sewn, and your left out, and then the last of your lining right side. So everything's right side. And again, I can only do about 1/8 of an inch because I haven't got the right zipper, but I don't mind part of my zipper showing. What we should have now is 2 lining and 2 main, one side. There you go, with your zip sandwiched in the middle. That's just, there you go, and your zipper is sandwiched in the middle at the back, look, and sandwiched in the middle. So the next stage is I'm going to pin this down so it stays down, it doesn't move into my sewing line anyway. So I'm going to pin that down out of the way. Now I'm going to open my zipper all the way. I'm going to take my 2 main and my 2 lining, making sure that the seams are together at the ends. So make sure them seams are together and clip or pin. When you start sewing, you need to leave about 3 inches gap to pull it all the way through. That's why you need your zip open. So pin and clip all the way around. So once you've pinned or clipped, and start on one side of your lining and go backwards and forwards. Now I'd move over and do about 3/8 of an inch on this. So do that again. Keep it on about 3/8 of an inch all the way around. And that's where we leave the gap, just here. Use your pinking shears and cut all the bulk. But don't cut where your gap is, which is on the lining side. Then pull it through. And just remember that you have got a pin still in holding your tag down. So try and get that first, and then you won't stick the So pull it all the way through. Once you've pulled it all the way through, you might have to roll it in between your fingers if you've used thick fabric to get it into shape, making sure that you've pushed everything out, and that's why it makes a neater end, because you've left a gap. So that makes that end neater and this end neater and straighter. And then what you need to do then is sew the hole up in your lining. So what you do with that is, if you put your fingers in there and pull, it should roll over enough for you to sew that together. Your stray threads, now's the time to do it, to get them. So go up, put your needle in, and then go up a bit and then back about 1/8 of an inch all the way across. Push your lining in. And then with a bit of luck, push your lining all the way in. Just look. My scissors are perfect, and they do. Yeah, look at that. They're in nice, and these fit as well. And they're in nice as well. This one, as you can see, was too small. It wouldn't even hold one pair. But they're okay for smaller, so got the difference in size. So that's taking that pattern there and just making it bigger from the ends all the way and drawing it on the back. I did quilt and put some lines on this fabric just to make it a bit more snazzy. I've got a nice little hanging loop there. So if you want to make it the proper way, then you need to watch Sotak Homemade, and I'll put the link, I'll put the proper name at the bottom of this. But yes, I quite like this, because if you went away on a retreat or anything, they'd be nice and safe. But if you want to keep them away from little sticky fingers, then obviously you can hang that up out the way and they're nice and secure and they can't see what's in there. If you want to make a quick little gift for somebody and then buy them, say, a pair of pinking shears for a beginner, that's ideal, and then give her the pattern and the project to do for other scissors, then that's ideal. So yeah, I quite like that. I'm quite happy with that one. There you go, both in there. Thank you for listening and watching, and press the like and subscribe button. Come on back and you'll be notified more videos. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.